Welcome back to the Say by the Bell YouTube channel. I'm your host Ben, and as always, make sure you're following us on our social media links. They're all going to be linked down below, and make sure you subscribe to us over on our YouTube channel too. Today we're greeted by a special guest. He's an upcoming fighter on the Liverpool scene, Petches Kelly. Welcome, lad. Welcome to the channel.
It's happening, lad. Nice one for having us on.
He's a Cage Warriors welterweight. He's just at the start of his MMA career, just broke through to the professional rankings, haven't you? And he's 1-0, came out first time in Almighty 19 against Federico Paddy. So talk to me a little bit to begin with, lad, about your start in MMA. Just talk to me about how did you get into the sport growing up?
Well, lad, I've watched it for a while, like, to be fair. A lot later than people think. Like, I think my first fight to watch was Diaz, Anderson Silva, lad. But one of the lads just got me on it, said, watching this in ours if you fancy coming over. So watched it, started getting a bit more into it, and then thought, fuck it, I'll give it a go, and end up going to the gym and getting stuck in.
Is right, boss. Love that. And which fighters were your favourite going and getting into it?
Obviously, off that first one, Diaz, lad, because he was just comedy to watch, lad. He's funny, but then coming up on that, lad, because I stopped watching it for a bit and came back, and then that's when like McGregor was big and people like that, lad. But I'd say more like McGregor. The lad, to be fair, though, like Robbie Lawler as well, lad. Like the way he just bite down and scrap, lad. But I came in like McGregor there, lad, so he was like the top dog then.
Yeah, got you. And how old were you when you very first stepped into the gym and started practicing?
15, I think I was. I think. September, so it would have been 15, lad. Just not long to 15.
How was it when you very first stepped in there? What was it like?
Oh, lad, it was strange. Like, I remember the first time I went, lad, and it was actually my week off school, lad. So I went on a Wednesday morning, like 12 o'clock, and obviously, lad, that's when like the pros are training. So I've walked into all the pros a few weeks out from a fight, all in shape, basically punching fuck out of each other, and I was like, fucking hell, it's a bit heavy this, like, but I ended up getting stuck into it later on in the night, and it was, lad, probably the best thing I've ever done.
Boss, love that, love it. So before I interviewed you, I went back and had a little look at your first professional victory over Federico. Brilliant first round KO finish. Just talk to me a bit about how that felt. Obviously, making sure you got the first round.
Yeah, lad, it felt mad, to be fair. Like, I was expecting it to go a bit longer, to be honest. I didn't know too much about him, where he was from, Italy. So it's hard to find stuff on these foreign kids. So it was made up, lad. It was weird because I haven't fought in like close to 2 years, and it was a bit strange, lad, obviously because of COVID and that, but a bit more nervous than normal, obviously, pro debut, first fight in a while. I had game plan just half went out the window, to be honest with you, lad, just sort of fucking ran at him. And had a few shots, but
you done it so well though with the jab. You stayed behind the jab, and I don't think he was expecting it, was he?
Nah, I don't think he was, to be fair, lad, but again, lad, he surprised me as well, lad. I didn't think he'd be that strong and take that many shots either, lad, but it's even better, lad. The only shit thing is that I broke my hand in it, so
so you're still injured now, is it? Or
just coming back now, lad, so look in April, hopefully, lad, fingers crossed I can get on Cage Warriors. That 100% I'll be on Cage Warriors. I might have to have one more outside the Cage Warriors, but then I'll definitely be on there by the end of the year, 100%.
So that sort of follows on for what my next question was for you. I was going to say, what's next for you in 2022? What's it looking like?
So obviously at the minute, lad, the only shows that are coming up, there's a Cage Warriors before the UFC, but none of our lads are on that because obviously the bit Molly and Meatball and Molly and Paddy, are on there. So the coaches are focusing on that for that one. So we've got to wait till April if we want to get on Cage Warriors. But if it's not Cage Warriors, lad, it'll be like another Almighty, another regional, and then get another win, and I'll be straight onto the Cage Warriors when they're back up north.
Yeah. And I wanted to focus a little bit on Next Gen, obviously, because of where you've come from. Talk to me a little bit about what it's been like training out of there and your coaches, and what it's been like developing you as a fighter, as a gym and whole.
Well, it's boss, lad, to be fair. Like, I'm half lucky I picked that gym to go to be honest, because there's so many snar gyms out there, lad, who teach proper bad shit. It's just not worth going to and wasting money. But I was lucky I went to a professional gym from the off, so about, I'd say, like 8 months in, lad, I was in the pro classes, lad, training with the pros, you know what I mean? So I've been training with the likes of Paddy, Molly, Ellis, Bensley, all these people who are world champions and top of the pros, lad, since I was 15, 16. So to get that level of training, lad, you don't get that nowhere else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially anywhere in the UK, lad. Like,
Of course
there's
not.
gyms that coach people, you know what I mean? They've got loads of big names, but they haven't developed them, lad. They've all come from different gyms.
Yeah.
Every big name in our gym has come from our gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's only like, we've won Matt Bonner, who's my main training partner, lad. He didn't train with us at the start, but we flipped his career around. We got him a world title, but then I think everyone else in the gym who's ever won a world title started in our gym and won the world title in our gym.
Yeah.
So it just shows you what level of training you get at Next Gen, and the coaches are at the next level.
It's got one of the biggest reputations in the city. Obviously, myself growing up in the city, of only Next Gen and Carbon, and that's it. All the rest of below, it's definitely at the top of the food chain, like in the city of Liverpool. And talk to me a little bit about Molly and Paddy, the influence they're having in that gym at the minute, especially with their rise to stardom in the UFC.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, cause to me, lad, it's just Paddy and Molly. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like when I first met Paddy, lad, he was starting to get a bit bigger, especially in Liverpool. So like, he was getting big, but not like as big as he is now. So I've always just known him as Paddy, and then the same with Molly, lad. No one knew Molly when I met Molly, lad. I didn't even know Molly. I remember meeting Molly, lad, in the gym for the first time and saying, "Oh, are you fighting on Shinobi?" It was. He's like, "Yeah, lad, yeah." I was like, "What are you, an amateur, are you?" And she's like, "No, what? I'm like the co-main event." It's like, "Oh, fucking hell, sorry, love it." It was heavy, but yeah, it's lucky she fucking let that one slide, that. But
yeah,
one of them, lad, like, it's boss, like, because it brings attention to the gym, brings attention to us who are training with them, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, lad, the Scouser, so they help us out as well, so they're not just, like, taking all the fame, lad, you know what I mean? Like, they try and drip it down to us as much as we can, especially when, like, the lads are on Cage Warriors. It's a lot easier for them to give a little post here and there. It's only a post, lad, but to us, lad, that's a big thing.
of course
Paddy
it is,
puts it on in his story, lad. You're getting up 100 followers, lad. 100 followers when you're just starting out, lad. It sounds petty, lad, but it's fucking something big, you know what I mean? So, the way they help us out around the gym, and then obviously, lad, the experiences they've got, lad. Both of them fought in Vegas, Molly's fought everywhere else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can share these things, and Molly took Nathan to Abu Dhabi for Fight Night. I bet he never got to experience that if she didn't fight there, so... They bring us along with them, lad, you know what I mean? So they're just like showing us, like, look, this is what's coming next for you, stick at it.
Yeah, I love that. And just lastly, before we wrap it up, I wanted to just spend a little bit of time with you talking about this UFC London card that's coming up in March. Obviously, we've got Paddy and Molly fighting on there, but we've also got like Paul Craig, we've got Tom Aspinall's going to be main eventing. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about the others, maybe, and just give me your thoughts on Tom Aspinall and Paul Craig, just to begin with.
Yeah, lad, I've only watched a few of that Paul Craig's fights, and I think it's every one that he's got battered in and through a late submission. And to be honest, lad, lad, he seems keen, like, but lad, it's he's a prime example of, like, don't give up. You know what I mean? Even just in a fight, lad, like, he's being battered in fights, lad, and just whipped up a triangle. I think that he does is mad. Like, he's done it a good 3 times now. It just proves that you stick to what your game plan is, and you're gonna win. So. I don't know too much about Paul Craig, but I know that Aspinall, lad, I've seen a good few of his fights. I fought on his undercard when he fought on Cage Warriors as well as an amateur, but lad, he's, for a big fella, lad, he doesn't half move well, you know what I mean? He's not even out of our gym, lad, so normally I'd have a bit of beef with their gym, but lad, you can't even say nothing bad about him. He's fucking world class, lad, he's unbelievable.
And also wanted to get your thoughts on Dan Hooker moving down to featherweight to fight Arnold Allen. I know Arnold Allen's big over here, like. Yeah,
lad, Arnold Allen's big, lad. Hopefully, lad, where he gets to fight that Hooker, he gets to get a bigger name for himself abroad as well now, you know what I mean? Like, he's at that stage now. He's sort of in the bit more than, what's his name, lad, Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
No one's really asked about him, lad, and it's a bit heavy to say, but it's true, lad, but hopefully getting these big fights in, it's fucking helping, lad, but it's just a shame, lad, because every cunt I know who's tried to get tickets today, lad, for that UFC's got none, lad. It's heavy. Doesn't seem like no one's going, lad, but they're all gone somehow. It's crazy.
Yeah. Me included, lad. I was on it this morning trying to get some, and just wasn't
lad, I was fuming. I paid whatever, 80 quid, $100 UFC Fight Club thing, lad, last night, thinking, guaranteed them, lad. Got 6 in my basket. Fucking paid it. The fucking payment thing went through and then said failed. Took me back and tried to charge me $1,000 for them. I was fuming in the gym. this morning, so
Naughty.
UFC to sort that out. Won't catch me paying a grand to go and watch the lads fight, lad, not a chance.
Yeah, not a chance. And just lastly, before we finish, I wanted to talk to you a bit about the UFC perhaps coming back to Liverpool in the future, and what your chances are, you think, of making that card?
It depends how quick they come back, lad, you know what I mean? Obviously, lad, being realistic, lad, if you're like 2-3-0, there's not a fucking chance you're getting on the UFC. There's not a chance. You need a good, especially for us UK fighters, lad, you need a good solid 8. Like 8-0, lad, then you're good. But just look at Paddy. Paddy had like 20 odd fights before he even got signed. So for us European lot, lad, it's a lot harder. But obviously, if you come back to the field, lad, it's more likely going to be Paddy headlining. So obviously he's going to have a bit of pull in that. But there's a few others in the gym above me, lad, who, if they came back in the next year or two, lad, there's a few in the gym who are a bit above me, lad, who will end up getting on there. The likes of Nathan, Adam Cullen, maybe, you know what I mean? Like them types of people. Maybe even Bonner, lad, they'll definitely be pushing for it, lad. I'm just not going to take that big step too soon, lad. I'm only young, 20, so maybe, lad, if the 5 years, lad, defo, 100%, but being realistic, lad, if they come in the next 2 years, lad, I've got no chance.
Yeah. But the future's looking bright for you, and that's the main thing, isn't it, lad?
Lad, it is, and hopefully, lad, if they do come back to Liverpool anytime soon, lad, it'll be fucking Anfield, lad, because look how quick that O2 sold out, lad, you know what I mean? It's, lad, it went quick, so look, and you're paying 80 quid for no chance of getting tickets, lad. They'll have to do something big. The Echo's not compared to that O2, lad, so they're either going to have to make a makeshift one, or they'll get in that Anfield, which obviously Paddy doesn't shut up ranting about, so it's lad, it could be a very, very big one, lad, you know, you never know. Yeah,
and with Paddy, do you think it's going to impact, obviously, you lot being in the gym with him, the way he took his time? And I know he got a couple of offers off the UFC first and turned them down, and really went away and crafted himself and like built himself out a bit before he made the jump. Do you reckon that's like being a good thing for the lads in the gym like yourselves?
Yeah, 100%. I do 100%, because lad, if being honest, lad, and I think Paddy said the same, lad, if he would have took the early contacts and got beat, lad, he wouldn't be half as big as he is right now. So to be able to go outside the UFC and get as big as he has been, and then his first fight he's blew up, lad, if he took that contact whenever he first got offered it a few years ago, lad, he wouldn't be twice as big as he is right now. So he took the right decision there, but it proves to us, lad, like, you don't have to just snap at the offer. Like, obviously, like we all know, the UFC is the best one you're getting. You're not getting no bigger than the UFC, but take your time with it, you know what I mean? You've got a full career you need to think about. You're not just trying to, like some people that feel like when they get offered the UFC, it's like, oh, fucking hell, that's it. That's my only chance of getting in, I'm on. You know what I mean? But Paddy's proved what it's not. If you keep winning, lad, you get more and more contacts. So he's taught all the lads to be smart with it. Let's put it that way, lad. It's just picking your time, taking the right option, and lad, to be honest, lad, he probably made more money outside of the UFC. I don't know for a fact he's made more money outside the UFC doing it that way. And now he's getting paid the good. So, you know what I mean? It's lad, he's done it the right way, and it just proves, again, lad, that you don't have to bite it. Like, obviously, lad, the UFC have a bit of pull over you where we're the biggest. Obviously, you don't get a choice with the UFC, lad. So, if you can turn them down and prove them wrong, it's not always a bad thing.
Yeah. Because I think it was a couple of years ago when he was on Cage Warriors, he was selling out the Echo Arena, wasn't he? Like a Cage Warriors show was selling out.
Obviously, like Till's got a big pull, lad, in the city as well. You know what I mean? He'd do the Echo again if he had to, but he done the Echo, lad. But what everyone forgets is Paddy done it a year or two before then, lad, on Cage Warriors, and lad, if you go in the boozer down the road, lad, I say, you know, it's a Cage Warriors, they'd probably be like, nah, what's that, lad? You know what I mean? But if you went there and said, what's the UFC? He's like, we had that cage fight. You know what I mean? So to be able to sell it out, lad, he sold it out twice.
He did,
before even touching the UFC, lad. And it's not even like he went to the UFC and fell out of the UFC or got cut from the UFC and then he's done it off his own back. And obviously, lad, he's helped Cage Warriors a lot, but just MMA in Liverpool as a whole, lad, like, I don't reckon Till would be half as big as, well, he'd still be big, but he wouldn't be as big as fast if it went for Paddy selling out the Echo and that, because it just made people fall in love with MMA, you know what I mean? So, like here's one for you, lad. Who did you hear off first, Paddy or Till?
Paddy.
There you go, lad, you know what I mean? It's just, like, I'm not blowing smoke up his ass, lad, because you fucking love it if I am, but it's one of them, lad. Everyone heard of Paddy the Body before they heard Darren Till. Darren Till was like a offspring of what Paddy done.
Yeah. I think it's just, as we say then, like, he sold out the Echo before Till did, and it was like when he was a lot younger as well, you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean, lad. I think when he sold the Echo out, lad, he was like 22, 21, 22, something like that, lad. That's only 2 years off me now, lad. That's fucking crazy, lad. And obviously back then, lad, he's honest about it, lad. He didn't even have his head fully in it properly, you know what I mean? Like, he was still going out partying, and like he could sit here all day telling you stories about it, lad. But it's lad, to be doing it when he did, lad, it's unbelievable. Like, you don't hear of no one really getting signed to the UFC who's done a full venue on their own. You know what I mean? Like, people from like the Contender Series, LFAs, fucking Cage Warriors. That they might sell them out, lad, but they're selling out like small halls, small venues, lad, not fucking 3,000, 4,000, whatever the Echo holds, even more probably, to be honest with you, lad. And on their own twice on 2 different occasions, lad. So that just on its own tells you he's got pull when it comes to selling stuff.
Yeah. And lastly, I just wanted to get your predictions for Paddy this year in the UFC. What do you reckon he's going to accomplish this year?
Lads, big things. The way he's been looking lately, lad, it's looking good, you know what I mean? And again, lad, he's got that head screwed on him, lad. He's not just biting at every fucking chance he gets. He knows he's got time, so he's not fighting for the title in his next fight, lad. He's not soft, he's got his head screwed on, so he's building his way up, which is the right thing to do. Like, people bollock that Sean O'Malley for it, lad, but lad, it's the smart thing to do, you know what I mean? Like, look how big O'Malley is, lad. Again, no one knew him before the UFC. He done that Contender Series, got big, and he just grew and grew and grew. Obviously, Paddy's probably a bit bigger, starting off a bit bigger, but again, lad, just be smart with him. He's on for big things, like, and obviously that we know a bit behind the scenes and that, like, what goes on, and obviously shit you can't tell people, but lad, there's big things, very big things coming.
Good, yeah. That's impressive to hear, and we can't wait to hear about it. Just lastly, from yourself, obviously we really appreciate the time today. If we're looking in a year's time for Ben Petches Kelly, where will we be sat? Will we be looking at another couple of wins on the record?
100%, lad. You'll be seeing at least another 3 on the record, lad. 100%. I'm looking at least 3 fights this year, and lad, you'll see me on Cage Warriors, active on Cage Warriors, going towards that belt. The end of 2023, lad. People will be talking me and the Cage Warriors welterweight belt, 100%.
Good man. Listen, we really appreciate your time. I've been Ben, obviously, from Saved by the Bell. Everyone follow Ben Petches Kelly on his socials. I'll link them down in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to the Saved by the Bell podcast YouTube channel. And we'll see you next time. Take it easy.
Nice one, lad.